Welcome to a new video, and this is a video about the Find X7 Ultra, and I'm filming currently with the Find X7 Ultra because I got a new update, and I think this is quite fantastic because they did not only give us new security updates but also benefits for the operating system on the Find X7 Ultra, like stabilization, optimizations for Wi-Fi and for mobile connectivity, and above this also improvements in terms of cameras, like for example stabilization optimizations for video recording. It's a bit of a night time, you can see already it's getting dark right now, the sun is like hiding already, and yeah, nevertheless I'm going out with Timmy right now, and this is why I'm filming here, and nevertheless I'm just like filming here, as you can see there, Timmy figuring out what's in the green grass there. Anyway, we have some other optimizations here in regards of cameras, like the master mode has now an EV compensation, so exposure compensation that you can turn on and off, and it will keep this exposure compensation, which might be quite handy for people who are recording or capturing shots with the master mode. And then we have some optimizations regarding skin and portrait mode. Skin colors especially should be better there. They were already very good, but maybe they optimized a little bit more there, and especially also they try to optimize the macro modes and the portrait mode, especially with the zoom lens. And zooming in general should be yeah, a lot better, resulting in a bit of sharper shots. So I think they optimized a little bit, especially the 6x zoom, but we will figure this out in this dim lit situation right now by taking some shots that I will do and will blend in here, and you will then be the judge and yeah, judge if this will be okay or not. Maybe yeah, take a look at those shots as well, and we'll analyze them a little bit there. But yeah, quite nice that Oppo is updating their Find X7 Ultra. And good news when it comes to Oppo and Europe and or global countries, but especially Europe, because after they have now finally came to a conclusion with Nokia about the patents, we can expect Oppo Find X devices arriving again on the European market as global devices. So this is, I think, pretty good news, and hopefully this will come with the Find X7 Ultra. But I'm not so sure, because this device is already out. Maybe we will see a Find X8 Ultra in the making pretty soon, and that will also come to the global market. So that's it for this short little video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and let's take a look at the photos. So let's take a look at the photos. We start off with portrait photos. This is Timmy here, and I took this shot with the 6x zoom, 135mm. And you can see that it's quite sharp. It's a bit pixelated there, maybe, but it's quite sharp. It was indoors, however, and what you will see as well is that the f-stop number is f2.8. So what it actually does is not using or utilizing the dedicated 6x zoom, but rather cropping into the 3x zoom lens, because this one has f2.8 and it's a larger sensor, so it can get down a little bit with the ISO and get a better shot than the 6x zoom. Nevertheless, I find that this is quite a good shot, especially no one is like zooming in at 100% all the time, so I think it looks quite good. Then the evening walk, or sun was like setting, as you can see, and got nice colors there. This is now the main camera sensor. We have ISO 800 and f1.8 here, and a shutter speed of 1/47 of a second. You can see it's getting a bit soft, but I think it has something to do because it was slightly maybe focusing on the foreground there, then on the background, but the colors are nice indeed. But nothing really there where I say, okay, this is like a big improvement to the predecessor. Zooming in with the telezoom lens, again, I wanted to try out 6x zoom just to see here if it's using or utilizing the 6x zoom, but as you can see here, it is not. It's switching to the 3x zoom lens. So this is what you'll get there. But where you can trigger it to use the 6x lens is what you can see here. And you see already in terms of clarity and noise, it is far less noise here. And this is 300 times zoom. So if you press the 6 times zoom button again, this is the next step that it will offer you. And then it will really switch to the 6x zoom. You can see at the f-stop number 4.3, 300 millimeter here. ISO is quite high with 5000, I would say, and exposure time is quite low with 1/17th of a second. But I think it's doing a good job. It's a bit overblown here. I think that Vivo does make a better job there, or can do a better job there with in terms of not overexposing highlights so much. Has better HDR, but I love the colors here, and you can even see some birds like flying there in the sky. So it is, I think, okay, but I don't see any big improvements there. Same goes for the 3 times zoom lens here. You can see on the right side the sun just setting, on the left side we have already nighttime, and you can see there's a lot of noise there for ISO 6400, even on this little sensor that is 1/1.5 inch, I think. And this very good f-stop number f2.6. There is a bit of noise creeping in already. Then another shot, completely darkness, this time using the night mode to see how good they fare in terms of like optimizations for texts and so on. And this is, I think, quite okay. The night mode is not doing too much here with the 3x lens, as you can see here. You can still read the text there. Little details are not visible anymore there, but at least you're able to read it. And yeah, some idiot sprayed over it or was like writing something on top of this text here. So yeah, it is what it is. And the next one is the 6x one, and this you can see when I have night mode turned on, it actually is going into using the real 6x lens, but you can see already it's a lot softer. You can still read it, but you can see the text is a lot softer there, and little details are not really visible, maybe even slightly out of focus. I'm not sure about this here. 1/5 of a second is also very low shutter speed. This is now 3x again, 6x again, where it's using the 3x lens, 3x sensor again. So this is why you get a little bit of less detail and a bit of more noise there. At least the colors look right, because this is a real faded red that we have here on this sign there. Otherwise, this was very impressive for me. Night mode. This was on a parking lot of Lidl, and this 6x. 6x pressed again, so not 135 but 300 millimeter here, and this is quite interesting because you have ISO 4000, we have 1/20th of a second, but look how razor sharp the text looks like. So I think they put some optimizations there for the zoom, and so even it's a bit slightly edited, as you can see here, but it's readable. What's not readable is down below here, but I doubt that anyone could make it readable really. But this is quite good, and I think an improvement to the one that we saw before. Then a nice car that I photographed, an unusual car shape, I thought. I don't even know what car it is, actually. Maybe Daihatsu, if they are still on the European market. I cannot see it here, but yeah, this is 3x zoom. I think it's doing a good job. You can see it's a bit blurry already, 1/20th of a second exposure time. That might explain it, but the ISO is 4000, so it's not too noisy. Then the typical fuel station shot, 3x zoom, ISO 2000, as you can see here. And this one is doing quite a good job. The LEDs are visible. Little details there are visible. It's a bit of noise, I think, around the text here, but everything is nice and readable. And I think this improved a little bit in comparison to earlier versions of the firmware or the software. Then 6 times I tried out, and again, it's too dark for the 6 times sensor to really kick in. So they're using the crop on the 3x sensor. You can see it again on the f-stop number, f2.6. And the ISO is 3200, so it's slightly raising the ISO here. And you can see it also that it's a bit of a crop in, because you see the noise that we saw earlier a little bit more prominent here. Still, the LEDs are nicely separated there, which is quite okay, I would say. And then the next time is the 300 millimeter. So again, pressing on the 600 on the 6 times zoom lens, and you get 300 millimeter. And then it's utilizing the real f4.3 6 times zoom lens there, or telelens there. Little details are there as well. As you can see, it's a bit softer, but the little LED details are still there. You can see the noise that we had creeping in earlier is not there anymore. I think it's doing quite a good job there for this kind of lens there. And it's a lot better, I think, than it was before. So I think with the zoom lenses, they improved also the nighttime photography quite a bit. When you get a little bit more light, so the ISO is like under 6400, under 4000, something like this, then you get, I think, these better shots there with the zoom lens for sure. Then I tried macro shots, one of the 135mm 6 times zoom. I don't think, I remember someone told me that it has macro capabilities. I don't think it has macro capabilities. At least it doesn't look very good. Much more pleasant looks the 3x zoom lens here that is not really utilizing 3x. As you can see, it's the f1.8, so it's utilizing the main camera sensor for this kind of shot here, which is quite interesting. I was also not aware about this. It showed the macro symbol, so I thought maybe the close-up distance of the 3x is so close, but yeah, you can see here the Honor Magic 5 Pro. I'm still waiting for the Magic 6 Pro to arrive here, probably next week. And yeah, this is the telelens there on the Honor Magic 5 Pro, I think 3.5 telelens. Then another macro shot. I tried to photograph this little snail, or I think it's a snail, in my aquarium. And as you can see here again, it's a 3 times zoom actually a bit more, as you can see, 85mm, and it's utilizing again the f1.8, so the main camera sensor there instead of using the 3x sensor. So it's hard to trigger some of the macro mode for the 3x sensors. Here again, a little stone there. We can see little details there for sure on the stone, but the stone is like completely flat there. It's just like, yeah, it looks nice there. And then here also utilizing the main sensor, as you can see. So I'm not sure how to utilize the 3x real zoom. Does it have macro capabilities? At least I could not in automatic mode here. And yeah, I was like a bit too lazy to fumble around it. This is why you get a little bit blurry shots there. And this one is also a very nice macro shot, I would say, but you get little details here of this is how it looked like. But again, it's just a crop in from the main sensor here. And yeah, little details maybe a little bit missing. Maybe I have to step back a little bit more, but then I wouldn't say it is macro. It's a macro shot with the 3x. Then it would be like just a close-up shot with the 3x. But maybe this is what they meant also with improving close-up shots, because they're switching to the main camera sensor and cropping in there. And yeah, then we have a video here at nighttime. No, this is at daylight. The front-facing. No, this is the not the front-facing camera. This is the main camera sensor. You can see stabilization, I think, is a little bit better than it was before. Zoom switching and zoom should have been improved as well. So if I zoom in here, you will see that, yeah, it's working fine. But when I switch from 3x to 6x, what you will notice is that there's a slight like exposure change where it had everything blue for a second and then goes away. If I do it a second time, it doesn't have this anymore. So I think it was like for a second getting the exposure right for the 6x lens as well. And when I zoom in, this is like, I think 18 times zoom now. No, this is 10 times and this is 18 times zoom now, as you can see here. I think maybe slightly improvement at 10 times zoom there, but not a huge difference that I can tell. Then the next shot is now at nighttime, the front-facing camera, because they said about stabilization getting better. I don't see it here at nighttime with the front-facing camera. Maybe not enough light for this front-facing camera, even though there's a very large sensor there already as well, and autofocus is there. You can see it's a bit of noisy still, and stabilization is not the best. But when it comes to front-facing outside, front-facing camera here, you can see I think they improved upon this stabilization there. So not every step there is giving me a huge tremor there. And I think also that the noise is much better. Of course, there was sunlight now out there, so there was no issue with this. So in total, in general, I would say, yes, there are improvements that I can see here and there, but it's not a huge step forward. I think the zoom, telezoom capabilities have improved, especially at nighttime. And I think there's a bit of more, editing going on with this. And I think also the portraits slightly improved here and there, but I don't see much of a difference to the previous version that was already fantastic. So what do you think about those findings here about the Find X7 Ultra? Write it down in the comments. All those things here do not make me change anything on the score, so the ranking is still the same. It has the same points as the Vivo X100 Pro. There's no difference between them, so not a huge update, but at least a little bit of an update here and there that you can get that improves stuff a little bit, but not enough for me to change the ranking on my ranking system. So one last thing with the Oppo Find X7 Ultra, I want to show you and explain to you how you can improve the video performance on the Find X7. And I thought I'd combine it with the other video here. And what I did is I went into movie mode right now. I set the white balance manually. You just take a white wall or something and then set the white balance to what for your eyes looks a little bit the best in terms of white. I have my set, I think 5100 Kelvin right now, so it's a little bit towards the warmer side, so my face is a little bit warmer than it was before. I set the shutter speed to a fixed value. If I have this controlled kind of situation, because I'm not walking around, this works the best. And EV I've slightly turned down, minus 0.3 I think here, the exposure compensation. So this is the video that you can get here, so that you know that you can also get a little bit better video than the one that I showed you earlier. So what do you think about this one here? And that's everything for this video, where I showed you the new improvements on the Find X7 Ultra with the new camera application and also how to improve your video. So that's it for this video. Like, share and subscribe. Until the next time, bye.